Okay, so on the first part of the video, we've seen 4 adjectives and 1 verb, okay? Now I have other words here and expressions, and again, the context is when you are describing your company's structure, okay? So let's take a look at those 5 expressions. Now we have here a service center, okay? Look, guys, before I explain a service center, here you can use both spellings, okay? This is the spelling that they use in England, and then Americans, they use center, okay? But the pronunciation is the same. So here we have center and center, okay? Because many students, sometimes they say here, for example, service centre or something like this, right? But no, you say service center, like shopping center, right? But in UK, they spell in the opposite way, okay? So it's RE, and then in America, center. That's in Brazil as well, like shopping center and things like that, okay? So a service center, right? So in your company, if you have this area, a service center, that means, for example, when you go to Casas Bahia, you buy a product and then you go to the service center, right? So you make the payment, you collect the product. So this is what we call a service center, right? Or you go to Fast Shop, for example, it's another shop in Brazil. You buy, you choose the product, and then you go to the service center to pay and then to receive the product. So it's an area separated from the rest of the store. Okay, so we call it a service center. Yeah. Then we have a call center. Look, again, we have the spelling here. So center, yeah, but we don't say centre, center, right? It's the same. This is in England, and then center is American. Okay, so a call center, we have this service here in Brazil as well, and normally big companies, they have it. That's an area in the building where people are making phone calls, okay? So I don't know, maybe to sell a product or maybe to talk to the customer for any reason, okay? So it's a call center, okay? So again, this is a part of the company. Yeah, it's a department in the company where people make phone calls, okay? Normally you have 20, 30, 40 people working at the same time making phone calls, okay? Then we have headquarters, right? Similar words you have, guys, here, main office or head office, okay? So basically, normally big companies, they have the head office or the headquarters. So it's like one big office where most of the operation works, okay? So most of the people from that company work in the head office, okay? So say, for example, like for example, a franchise company, okay? So the franchise, normally they have the head office. So you have all the administration people working there, people who works in finance, and everybody who belongs to the company works in the head office. But then you have some people that don't work in the head office. They work outside the head office. They visit the franchises. They visit the people who bought the franchise, and also they are outside. They don't belong to the head office. Okay, so that's what it means. So you have the head office. It's the main office, and then sometimes you have other people working outside the head office or in other smaller buildings, okay? They still represent the company, they work for the company, but they don't work inside the head office, okay? So you have headquarters, which is mostly American, and then you have the words main office or head office, right? Then we have a warehouse, okay? So a warehouse, again, I have similar words, a stockroom or a storehouse, okay? So normally, again, big companies like Fast Shop, Magazine Luiza, Casas Bahia, those shops, they have one large building to have their stock, okay? So they buy, I don't know, 1,000 computers, and they put those computers in their warehouse. So for example, I have a shop, I need 10 computers because I'm selling a lot of these computers. I call the warehouse and they send 10 computers to my shop. Okay, so a warehouse, it's a big building where the big companies, they have their stock. Okay, so that's where they keep their stock, right? And finally, you have a factory. Okay, a factory is where you produce the products that you sell. Okay, So if you are, for example, Apple, yeah, for example, they have a factory in, I don't know, New York, yeah. So that's where they build their computers, their iPhones, okay. For cars, right? So you have Ford, I don't know, their factory is in São José, I don't know. So they produce the car in São José, and then they send the cars, to the different states in Brazil, right? So this is where how we call a factory. It's a place where you produce the products that you sell. Okay. Similar words: business unit or a plant. Okay, so you can use those words too. They're quite similar, and they describe the structure of the company as well, right? Okay, so this is it. We finished. Now you have the chance to practice, do the activities on words. Then you have the answers on the PDF. Remember, there's always in the beginning of the lesson, there's a link that you can read more about the topic of the lesson as well. You can practice your English too. You can see new words, new vocabulary. Okay, so for every lesson, I always post a link, an additional link, so you can read something about the topic too. Okay, so this is it. When you finish, then you can move on to the next lesson, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care.